Hello, we're going to be doing a presentation on the hybrid tea rose. My name is Denise Sonos.
I'm Quentin Lashbrook.
Rita González.
I'm Maria Ingram.
And I'm Kylie Morell.
For the table of contents, we're covering crop introduction, growing requirements, crop management, and harvest and post-harvest practices.
First, to start off with the hybrid tea rose introduction, hybrid tea roses are a popular type of rose known for their large, high-centered blooms and long, sturdy canes. The scientific name of a hybrid tea rose is Rosa X hybrida, and it belongs to the Rosaceae family. The first of the modern roses were the hybrid tea roses, which were derived from crosses between the hybrid perpetual roses, which were developed in Europe, and tea roses, which were developed in China. The first recognized hybrid tea rose was a cultivar called La France, introduced in 1867 in France. However, there is documented evidence of earlier crosses between hybrid perpetual and tea roses. Hybrid tea roses are economically important because they dominate the cut flower market, support the global floriculture trade, are widely used in landscaping, and contribute to nursery production and plant breeding industries.
For growing requirements, climate and soil conditions. For the climate, hybrid tea roses require at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight daily. Temperature climates with moderate seasonal variation are best for growth. Optimal growth occurs between 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Extreme heat and cold weather will damage this plant. Soil. Well-drained and fertile soil is best for growth and prevents root rot. Deep and moist soil promotes strong root development. Organic compost improves soil composition and nutrients. Spacing these roses 2 to 3 feet apart promotes airflow and reduces the risk of common diseases like black spot. Roses are most comfortable at a pH of 6.0 to 7.0, which is slightly acidic.
So for these roses, you're gonna want to water them based off of the climate and the growing conditions. Their deep roots make it harder to recognize the drought. So in warmer, dry climates like Texas, for example, not as like dry, but you might want to water around like 2 days. Otherwise, it's gonna dry out. And you want to water about 1 to 2 inches, pretty deeply. As for nutrients, these roses really need acidic soil with a pH between 6 and 6.5, and they do really well with organic matter in the soil to prevent over-fertilizing. There's an ideal ratio of 5 to 10 to 5 or 10 to 10 to 10 of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Those are the big three nutrients that you're going to want to make sure they get. And then you can also use magnesium sulfate or Epsom salt to intensify the color. So that's a fun little fact. For growing requirements and propagation methods, the recommended method for propagating hybrid tea roses is called tea grafting or also called tea budding. This means you're basically joining two plants together by the top, which is called the scion, and the rootstock, which is the root system. And after you connect them, you can connect them with like grafting tape, or there's some other methods, and the vascular roots will grow together if it's done successfully. This is the most successful method for propagating hybrid tea roses.
So for crop management, it's going to be looking at the pest and disease control strategies and pruning and training techniques. So some common pests that you get with these roses are aphids that'll mess up the growth, Japanese beetles that'll eat the leaves and the flowers, and thrips, which will just overall weaken the plant. Some major diseases that you have to look out for with these plants are black spot, which is a fungal disease that causes black spots and leaf drop. Powdery mildew, another fungal disease, which appears as a white coating on the leaves, and those are caused by moisture and poor airflow. And some control strategies are to remove infected leaves and debris, which will help prevent the disease from spreading. Water at the base to keep the leaves dry, which also helps reduce fungal infections. Space the plants out, which will improve air circulation and lowers the humidity around the plant, and just generally giving them healthy care with proper sunlight, watering, and nutrients to help them resist pests. And some pruning basics are in the late winter and early spring. You want to prune before new growth begins. Remove dead, damaged, and diseased wood to keep the plant healthy and prevent spread of the disease to nearby plants. Make a 45-degree angle cut above the buds, which helps encourage outward growth and prevent more water buildup. And make it in an open shape to allow sunlight and airflow through the center.
Post-harvest methods. Harvest is preferable in the morning when the rose is at the tight bud stage or when two petals begin to unfold. Loose flowers, which have the stem almost fully cut, should be harvested half open or fully open depending on market distance. Immediately after, place stems in clean, cool water. Recut the stems under the water to prevent xylem blockage. In other words, doing so prevents air from entering the stem. Recut this. The water rapidly cools the roses, which removes field heat. Before storing, make sure that the stems sit in a high sugar solution for a few hours, pulsing. Although this isn't always commercially done, make sure to store in low temperatures with high humidity. Grade and pack stems. Grading is typically done by looking at size, shape of flower, and length of stem, and make sure to keep the cold chain during transport. These are our citations.